Good evening, and welcome to Democratic Television, a program where we discuss current issues that connect with democratic values. My name is Lisa Plauchin, and I will be your host this evening. We have an inspiring program for you tonight, one that will challenge you and hopefully call you to action. On June 2nd, thousands of people in Knoxville will be wearing orange. In fact, Knoxville will glow in orange, with the Henley Street Bridge shining in orange lights. Why, you may ask? Is there a big UT game happening? No. This is why we will be wearing orange on June 2nd.
Hi, my name is Haidia. It's your job as students to say yes to a great future.
To know Haidia, boy.
She wasn't someone who would be in a crowd and would be lost.
Haidia was an athlete.
She was very family-oriented.
Haidia was a comedian. Everybody was her best friend.
I don't know how to explain it, but she was just herself. She was mine.
Haidia was 15 when she was shot and killed.
She was our heart. But for some, she was a headline. That's because in America, more than 90 people die and hundreds more are injured to gun violence every day. We wear orange for Haidia.
For what her life means to us.
I wear orange as a symbol of what's happened to me and my family.
I wear orange because I am not a statistic.
I wear orange like a hunter in the woods.
To protect my life. I wear orange
because orange demands to be seen, and I demand to see change.
So tell me.
Can you see me now?
So Wear Orange is a national campaign where people across the U.S. will stand united in ending gun violence. That is why we are gathered here this evening. It is my pleasure to sit alongside our incredible guest tonight, David Twiggs, who's with Moms Demand Action, and he's also one of the lead coordinators for our local Wear Orange events, and Terry Walker-Smith, who is a dear friend also involved with Moms Demand Action, but she leads her own organization called Moms of Missions Survivors. Thank you for being here with us tonight to discuss this very important topic. Terry, I want to begin with you. You have a very personal story related to this issue, and I was just hoping that you could share that with us and tell us a little bit why this issue in particular is so important to you.
As you say, the name of my group is Mothers of Mission Survivors, and it is a group for mothers that have lost their children to a violent crime, for us to be able to cope, to heal, and to rebuild, to cope with the stages of grief, to heal, to begin to heal and rebuild our life. Because losing a child is very devastating and to a violent crime, and I lost two of my sons. Dee was killed in 2007, and Chris was killed in 2009. And so that's where I began to start my own organization, and I became part of, Dee was stabbed and Chris was gunned down. And I became part of Moms Demand Action to bring awareness since the senseless violent crimes to the guns, getting the guns off of the streets and out of the wrong hands.
Yes.
And just to be a part of that, every day you hear of somebody's life been taken senselessly because of somebody picking up a gun and taking somebody's life. And with the recent events, so many events, just every day you're just hearing somebody's dying because somebody chose to take a gun. Mm-hmm. And these are not registered guns. These are illegal guns. Right. And so it's just important to me to be a part of Moms Demand Action, for my voice to be heard, and for other mothers that have went through what I've went through, and for mothers that may just begin to experience, that don't want to experience
Yes.
what I have experienced.
Yeah.
So,
And I know that you have a pretty big group of people involved with your group. And in fact, I think we were showing some pictures here of your holiday wreaths
Yeah.
gathering. Can you tell us a little bit about that particular event where we were making wreaths and who we were making them for?
well, during the holidays are very, very, very emotional holidays, birthdays, and so during Christmas, to help us to rebuild and cope with going through the very difficult stages, I decided, well, we would make wreaths for ourselves in honor of our children, in memory of our children, and put them on our door. And so with Moms Demand Action came along, and we were able to put wreaths. I think we had over 20 wreaths, put
Wow.
20 wreaths together for other mothers and to take it out to them. And so we do try to do uplifting events. And as well as we have speakers to come in. We just had Captain Eve Thomas. She's
Okay.
over the detective department to answer some of our questions. And Moms Demand Action came and did the Be Smart program, and as well as trying to do some things with Chief Roush. We also have a counselor that's going to be on board working with us, because it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And so,
And you're continuing on, which is a very good thing to see, and you have a core group with you along the way, and I think joining forces too with moms is a good thing. So June 2nd is quickly approaching, and that is the big day for Wear Orange. David, do you want to tell us a little bit about the event?
Sure. Just a little bit of background about Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense. It's a national organization that was started by just a mom doing a Facebook page in Indiana after the Sandy Hook shootings. I wear a bracelet to make sure I never forget about that. And this is our first time. We've been in existence in East Tennessee, not quite as long as they have, but about 3 years now. This is the first fundraiser event that we're doing, and we're really not charging. We're just asking for donations. But it's going to be Friday, June 2nd, in Market Square at the Scruffy City Hall there.
Yeah.
So many of your listeners might know where that is. We've got 3 local performers that many of you will be familiar with. Sherry Levon, Kelly Jolly, and Michael Davis is going to close the entertainment out. If you're interested, just show up. But would like, so we can prepare for you to be there, for you to go to our website, which the National Moms has set up, called at www.wearorange, all one word, .org. Now you will have to put some personal information in there, because they have to locate you. Every state is having one of these events. They're having either the 2nd or the 3rd. Ours is on the 2nd, because that really is Gun Violence Awareness Day. That was actually started by a young woman outside of Moms Demand Action. So Gun Violence Awareness Day nationally has been designated June 2nd. We wear the orange color because that's the color. For us here at UT, it's great color, but they chose it nationally because that's the color hunters wear to keep from being shot when they're out deer hunting or that kind of thing. And our organization has nothing wrong about guns or anything like that. That's our purpose. We're all supportive of the Second Amendment. We just believe in illegal guns, that we don't need to have that, or we don't need to be tightened on our safety. We don't need to have these things happening over and over again.
You're right. It's common sense.
That's
gun
right.
safety, right?
Right.
So last year we had some really wonderful activities too. Maybe you can tell the viewers about that, and we can show some pictures too of those events.
Last year we kind of did it, like I said, this was the first time we're raising funds, but we're part of Every Town for Gun Safety, and we became a part of it. Last year was the first year. We actually painted the rock orange and put Wear Orange stuff and Moms Demand Action signs all over the rock. That was there for the whole week. The city, like they're doing this year, lit up the Henley Street Bridge orange for us, and they're going to do that again this year on the day, June 2nd. We also had a proclamation from the mayor, which we got one again this year. We're going to be revealing, the things she's done. Unfortunately, we have more. In fact, the statistics at 93 people a day are killed.
Horrific.
That's nationwide in America. And those statistics just keep growing and growing, and we don't like to see that.
No.
But we have to bring attention to it if we're ever going to do anything about it.
Right.
So we had that proclamation, and then that following week actually, the city was able to give us a space where we just featured our local gun violence victims. We actually had Terry's person there, picture, and told you a little bio about each, as well as Xavion Dobson, and several others, not just them. You would be astounded by the number, just here locally.
Yeah, and the church. I remember several of the victims from was it Unitarian Church? Shooting.
Yeah. And that was actually before Sandy Hook. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. And, so the events last year were the first events here in Knoxville, and this is kind of the second year that we're doing Wear Orange. Any hopes or expectations that you both have? Because Mothers of Mission Survivors is also involved in this and going to be, I guess, participating. Are there any expectations or hopes that you have to come out of June 2nd and the Save Our City Wear Orange?
Yeah, our goal is to raise enough funds to purchase some equipment in order to help push our Be Smart program, which is to help do education. And ours is a little bit different because we believe gun safety is the responsibility of adults.
Yes.
It's not training children. It's adult that can prevent these accidents from happening. And that's why we think that's so important, and that's what the Be Smart program is all about. Yeah,
you've both mentioned Be Smart, and if folks are interested in learning more about Be Smart, or this is a presentation that the team from Moms Demand Action can come and give to different community groups, to schools, to PTAs, to churches, pretty much any group of people that want to hear about the Be Smart program, which, as you were saying, David, is focused on being responsible gun owners and adults and keeping your guns stored and properly secured. So if people want to, I guess, have a Be Smart program, what is the best way for them to get in touch with moms?
Just get involved with moms. Come to the event. That's the best thing.
Yep.
Come there and help us out. You'll see there's a suggested donation that you can come and be a part of that. Take action, because these things keep happening. We had 2 people just shot just recently, and we got to stop it. We had a little 4-year-old girl, not really on our state, but just not very far, where a law enforcement person was negligent with guns. But you can go to the Moms Demand Action national website at momsdemandaction, all one word, .org, and just go there, and it's got everything about our campaigns, joining the organization. Once you join the national, you'll be directed, and we have a systems already set up, which Lisa, I think you've been a part of, welcoming people that sign up and get involved. And then because this is sensitive, and there is shouldn't be any controversy at all, but there is. So we're very protective of people. So you have to have that welcome call to make sure that it's a legitimate situation. And then you get into our closed Facebook group, and you get to know about all the things we're doing. We actually have monthly meetings where education programs, not just about Be Smart, but legislation that we're pushing, activities involved. So there's lots and lots of ways to get involved. To take that frustration that you probably are feeling on that couch. Why won't this stop?
Yes. And what can I do to make a difference? And
right.
It sounds like there are lots of different avenues through moms, but also through Mothers of Mission Survivors to get involved and to help out. So we've had this wonderful event, June 2nd. Everybody's decked out in orange, and it feels like the Vols are playing a huge game, but if they're not, everybody's just supporting Gun Violence Awareness Day. So June 2nd passes, and now it's June 3rd. What can we do as individuals and as a community to continue to fight against gun violence? Any ideas on what you would do?
As me and David were talking earlier, get involved with Moms Demand Action. city council, legislative. You know, I've been in Nashville with Moms Demand Action. You know, just showing up, being present, and being there to support.
And Mothers of Mission is so important because the shock that people have once they unfortunately have to join your organization, which is kind of a sad. You've had some experience with that unfortunate situation where a loved one has been shot, and so that's how they unfortunately get involved with her group. But they are very supportive. As soon as they hear it, they take a care package out to that family and talk with them because they know what it's like. They've gone through it and they experience it with it.
Right.
So there's two different ways. One's a compassionate and one's a education type thing with Be Smart and community activism. We've got the city council races coming up right now. When Xavion was shot, you know, now it's going to be coming up on the second year, coming up around when it gets around to December again. The city had this thing at Fulton High School. A young person got up and told them, you know, you keep talking about this, but you don't do anything. And we have a big loophole right now called the gun show loophole.
Yeah, what is that? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, people can buy, actually, the dealers that go to these gun show stuff, they do have to have a background system and check. But that doesn't apply to people out in the parking lot. You can go out to the parking lot and do a one-on-one sale with people with no background check with the person at all. And it's happened right here on city property. So on August the 29th, we have a city council primary. Go to these candidate forums. Ask them, your city council, why do taxpayers have to pay for people to be able to buy guns on our property that then they used to kill us? And we can't, and it makes it harder to track them. Like Terry was talking about, some of the perpetrators have yet to be found. And it's one of the reasons because we don't have any way to track the weaponry if the gun show loophole is continue to remain. Nashville shut their gun show down on their property. If Nashville, and it's been challenged and won in a court case already, the city can do the same thing. And so I would encourage you to push your city council people to take a stand on that before they get your vote. This is important. People are dying out there. And, and that's what we're talking about. This doesn't even get into the fact that, you know, it's been a long time since we've had one of these mass shootings for our kids that go to school. That traumatizes kids every day. It's something that they shouldn't have to think about. They should be able to go to school and learn. That's what they're for. And it just infuriates me every time.
Yeah.
And we're due. And we're doing nothing on the national level or local level. We have done some victories in the legislature that just closed down. We were able to keep campus gun carry from expanding, but it shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Right.
But at least it didn't get to expand, and that someone even had the idea that a person should be able to allow to carry a gun anywhere they want with no questions asked.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't the Wild West anymore.
Right.
We should be civilized. And so, and not that we support people have a Second Amendment, but we want it to be done in a responsible manner and for your either hunting purposes or your own personal safety. Not just as a show, you know, of some kind of machismo or something out there, you know.
So going back to the gun show loophole that you mentioned, is this something that's, I guess, decided on every city level, or is it a state? Can it be a state legislative piece? And are there other states that have closed it, or is there something that we can? I know you mentioned Nashville, but are there other places that have closed it successfully that we can kind of model ourselves after?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's been done on a statewide basis, but different localities have done that. But that doesn't, I mean, just because you close it here for Knoxville doesn't mean there's not a gun show down the road that the person can't go and buy. But at least if we're keeping it out of the very neighborhoods that we say we care so much and try to keep, you know, if you really care, let's stop it. Let's stop it in those neighborhoods. Our city courageously kept guns from, I mean, why would someone want to carry a gun to the TVA fair? Ride on a carnival ride and risk the thing going off. And so, I mean, it makes no sense at all. But there were people pushing for that weren't even residents of the county. And the legislature unfortunately did pass one of the NRA's chief #1 bill this year that is going to allow your locality, which is going to cost taxpayer dollars to make really attorneys rich, they're going to get triple damages now for suing if they have a cause of some kind, of any kind, of being denied to carry a gun.
Yeah.
How they make those damages or what they call it, I don't know. But they're going to have NRA lawyers all over the country getting triple damages for supposed damage. But, what about the person that has to suffer through the death of their child? That child's never coming back.
No.
There's no such thing as getting triple life,
No, there's
and
not.
it just makes me sick that we can't see the logic behind this. And the city, of course, fought on our side, and lots of other groups as well. Police people were on our side. They can't see when they're called to a situation where there's a shooting situation. They have trouble discerning who's the good guy with the gun and who's the bad guy with the gun. So,
Right.
and there is one other thing legally that is going to come up. It's not been much in the headlines yet because the NRA hasn't really wanted it to be. But they're going to try to get something called concealed carry reciprocity. And our little synopsis sounds like it's kind of a weird, chaotic language. But what that means is that if a person meets the requirements for concealed carry in one state, just like your driver's license, when you drive across state lines, that's their logic. It's just like a driver's license. You have to recognize it in your state. The problem with that is Tennessee has been surprisingly good at requiring permits and requiring you to go back and show your proficiency.
Training.
You can't just have it and keep it forever.
Right.
Well, some states don't even, you just pay a small registration fee and you don't have to do anything. So we would have to recommend, when those citizens, and people do move around, I can tell you from my experience and my job, people are moving a lot more frequently now and across state lines all over the country. They'd have to have the right to keep their concealed carry permit, even though they didn't have to do anything that Tennessee thinks should be kept for being safe. In fact, Moms Demand Action was at a event recently when one of the candidates was there, and we asked him if he would help keep Tennessee's laws, and he said, I do care about Tennessee's laws, but he wouldn't take a stand right there on the issue. But
I think that's important that we continue to have those conversations with people running for office, but also with our current elected officials. I know we all went up to Lobby Day in Nashville and spoke with our legislators, and I know from the meetings that I was in, they were very well received, and I really did feel like we were heard. And Terry, I know you've been up several other times after that. If there's one thing that you could say to the legislators that they could do, now not us, that they could do legally to take a stance on gun violence, what would you advise them to do?
Listen to our pleas, because they have families as well, and nobody's safe until we make safer laws. So nobody's safe until the legislature, listen to us and make laws safer and keeping the guns out of the wrong hands.
David, do you think there's anything that you'd like to say to the legislators?
well, like I said, this thing is just going to get started with, and it's got to be a federal law because it's going to be called across state lines.
Yeah.
There is going to be a big, but you're going to, as the summer comes on, unless other events derail it, there's going to be a lot of discussion about this. And you're going to have someone that's, they've already introduced the bills into the Senate and into the House. So they're on the docket, they just haven't moved them yet. But they're going to be moving. You need to keep watching that. And we need to, if you get involved with moms, we do a great job of letting you know when particular things are, and you need to take action, whether it's emailing or calling or visiting when your congressperson or senator is home on a break, and talk about the particular issue. We give you the specifics. If you're worried about what to say, we tell you what to say. We tell you that
it's quick, it's easy, it's not very difficult, and that's the rapid response team with moms, right?
Yeah, it is, and it happens, and it's real time, like you said, it's real time.
I think it's effective too. I know a lot of people get those text messages and get the information out that way. And if you are one of those people that like to text, a way to get involved with moms is also by texting JOIN, JOIN, to 64433. or as David said, you can also go to the website momsdemandaction.org. And Terry, if people want to get involved with your organization, what is the best way for them to reach you or the organization directly?
Well, there's a Facebook page, Mothers of Mission Survivors, as well as there's a website now, and it's Mothers of Mission Survivors at yolosite.com. And you can also look me up, Terry Walker Smith, on Facebook, and I will respond.
Great. Well, I think one of the things that we've kind of talked about here today is the importance of joining together and having our voice heard, and the more people that we can have on our side, and it's not just with moms, but all these groups building in their own pools and then coming together to fight against gun violence. I think that is a good step in the right direction. Would you agree?
Yeah, and one thing, this may not have affected your family, or it maybe not affected somebody you know yet, but I promise you, it is going to affect your family if you keep on allowing this scourge to happen. We have to stop it.
Yeah.
Don't wait till it happens to you and your family. Get involved now.
Yeah.
Come on down June 2nd to Market Square.
That's right.
You're going to have a great time. You're going to be with friends. You're going to be with people that think like you. That's going to be a big crowd because it's also going to be the first Friday in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of activity. Our group thing goes from 6 to 9 at Scruffy City Hall. But you can make it a night if you want, and then after our event, go out and join the festivities. But remember, and get involved, because whether it has happened, it's going to happen.
Right.
And we have got to stop this.
And I think it's important that we don't continue to put ourselves in these bubbles and think, well, that's not ever going to happen to me. That doesn't happen in my neighborhood, because it does. It can happen anywhere. I mean, it can just be negligent storage of a firearm, whether you're a responsible gun owner or not, and the kid gets a hold of it, and then there's an unintentional gun death, and that's got to change too.
Well, I wanted to say one thing. I never thought it would happen to me.
Yeah.
Nobody ever, you never think it's
think.
not going to happen to me.
Right.
And then when it does happen to you, so that's why it's so important on the preventive side to make a change, because you don't ever think that it's going to happen to you. It does.
Last week we had all the discussion on the newspaper locally and TV stations about suicide. That's part of the thing, that to look for the signs as part of the Be Smart program. So you get involved with these, and you're going to look at this issue in so many different ways.
Right.
But gun suicide is much more fatal than any other type of suicide. And once that trigger's pulled, you can't get that bullet back. And people have to realize that, and that's
Right.
why it's so important.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I really look forward to the event June 2nd at Scruffy City Music Hall. It is an adults-only event, 21 and up. You have to be to get in. So please go to wearorange.org for more information, or like David said, you can just show up at the door and hear some great music, be around like-minded people. We wanted to also let you know that we now have a YouTube channel where we're archiving our past DTV shows, so you can go and watch shows at your leisure anytime you would like. You can just search for Doug Veum, V-E-U-M, and it will pull up all past episodes of our Democratic television. So we hope you continue to watch, and thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to painting the town orange on June 2nd. Thank you.